Good day everyone, welcome back to Checkmate Scholars. In today's video, we're going to be tackling the 2025 4th grade math STAAR test. If you're interested in content like this, or maybe have a student who is taking the STAAR test soon, make sure to subscribe for videos just like this. Also, if you're interested in 1 hour of free tutoring, make sure to check the link in the description. As always, if you want to follow along with these videos, you can also check the STAAR test link in the description. That's the TEA website, and so if you'd like to follow along, make sure to click that link. All right, let's get started. Question number 1 reads, Marta has money in her wallet. The money she has is shown. 2 $20 bills, 2 $10 bills, 3 dimes, and 6 pennies. She buys dog food at a pet store for $36.89 after tax. How much money will Marta have left in dollars and cents after buying dog food? All right, so let's take a look at how we can solve this. All right, so here in this question, Marta is purchasing dog food. Here it says that the dog food is $36.89 after tax. After tax just means that this is the big amount. This is the whole amount of money that Marta is buying the food for. So you don't have to worry about that phrase after tax. Don't let it scare you. All right, so $36.89 is how much the dog food costs. And Marta is purchasing it with her money. So how much money does she have to purchase it? So she has to have $36.89, right? But she probably has more. So let's see how much she has. Marta has money in her wallet. The money she has is shown. So she has 2 $20 bills. Okay, so 2 $20 bills. So how much money is that? Well, if each $20 bill is $20, then 20 times 2 is 40. Okay, so she has $40 there. She has 2 $10 bills. So she has 10 times 2, that's 20. Okay, she has 3 dimes, right? She has 3 dimes. 3 dimes. So if a dime is 10 cents, that means 3 dimes is going to give us 10, 20, 30 cents. Okay, and since it's not a dollar, we're going to go ahead and put it as a decimal because cents make up dollars. Okay, so we have 30 cents. All right, and then she has 6 pennies. Well, each penny is worth 1 cent. So how many pennies, or sorry, how much does she have in pennies? She has 6 pennies, so she has 6 cents. So 0.06. Okay, she has 0.06. Let me rewrite this so it looks nice. She has 0.06. All right, so now our job is to add up all the money that she has. All right, so she has 40 and 20, right? So 40 plus 20 is how much? 40 plus 20 is going to get us $60. Okay. Now, she also has 30 cents and 6 cents. So in total, how many cents does she have? She has 36 cents. Okay. So we're going to add that to the $60 we have. So she has 0.36. All right. So now our job is to add all this up. So how much money does she have in total? So Marta is going to have 0.36. So this is how much Marta has in total. She has $60.36. All right. So now we need to find out how much money she has after she purchases the dog food. Okay. All right. So if Marta has $60.36 and she purchases dog food for $36.89, that means we're taking away from the money she has. Okay, so 36.89. All right, so now we have a subtraction problem. So now this is your time to solve this on your own. If you would like, you can pause the video here. Okay, So let's solve this together. So first we have 6 minus 9, which we can't do, okay? 6 is not bigger than 9, so we need to regroup. So we're gonna go to our neighbor, the 3, take out 1, we have 2 left. All right, we're gonna put 1 right here. So 16 minus 9, okay, that's gonna give us what? It's gonna give us 7. Okay, next we have 2 minus 8. We can't do that. If you have 2 apples and you want to take away 8 apples, you can't do that. So we're gonna regroup again. So we go to our neighbor 0, but 0 doesn't have anything. So we go to our neighbor the 6. So let's take away from the 6. Okay, we're left with 5. But we can't go and regroup straight away. We have to go to our next neighbor, the 0. Okay, let's give him that 1 that we just took. Okay, let's give him that 1. So we have 10. But remember, our goal is to get to this 2. Okay, so we're gonna take from that 10. So this 10 now becomes a 9. Okay, now we have 12 here. What's 12 minus 8? 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay. All right, now we have 9 minus 6. We can do that. 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So what do we have? How much money do we have left after we finish subtracting? We have $23.47. Therefore, A is the correct answer. Question number 2 says, Maddie asked some farmers how many cows they own. The dot plot shows her results. So we have a dot plot showing how many cows each farmer owns, okay? Each dot, it says, represents one farmer. Complete the table using the data from the dot plot. Move the correct answer to each box in the table. Each answer may be used more than once. Not all answers will be used, okay? So we have a dot plot. And remember, each dot represents one farmer, all right? So let's start at 30. So the numbers we see down here represent the number of cows. So does anyone own 30 cows? Well, no, because there's no dot over 30. If we move over by 1 increment, we see that there's one farmer that owns 31 cows. So that's the relationship we see right here, okay? So let's keep moving over. For 32, 33, and 34 cows, we see no farmers. All right, when we get to 35 cows, we see that there are 2 farmers that own 35 cows. So the answer for this choice right here is going to be 2. Okay, let's move over to 40. At 40 cows, we see that there are how many dots? There are 4 dots. So the answer here is going to be 4. Okay, we move over to 43, right? We see there's 1, which is listed in the table. All right, we move over to 44, 45, 46, we don't see anything. But once we get to 47, we see some dots. How many dots are there? Well, we see that we have 5 dots, okay? So for 47, we're going to use 5. And so that's how you solve this problem. All right, question 3 says, there are 120 packs of paper in a copy room. Each pack has 100 sheets of paper. How many total sheets are in the packs of paper? All right, so first I like to draw some things out when I read these questions. So we have these packs of paper, right? These packs of paper, and they have a certain amount of paper in each one. Let's say there's 10 in each one. So there's 10 in this one, there's 10 in this one, there's 10 in this one. So how do we find out how much is in each one? Well, do we add all of them? Well, we could add these, right? It's a small amount, but we don't have the time to draw out 120 packs of paper. So what do? Well, we can multiply, right? Hence our key word here, each. Okay, so instead of doing 10 plus 10 plus 10, we could simply do 3 times 10, right? 3 times 10, okay? And so we're gonna do the same thing with with the numbers in our question, all right? So we have 120 packs of paper, 120, okay? And we have 100 sheets in each pack, so it's gonna be 120 times 100. Okay, so 120 times 100. So how do we do this? How do we solve this? Well, there's a simple, easy trick that I'd like to show you today. Okay, whenever you're multiplying times a number that ends in zeros, okay, make sure it's starting with 1. Okay, so whenever you're multiplying with the number that that ends in zeros, you can take those 2 zeros and put it at the back of the number you're multiplying. So all we have to do is write out 120. Okay, and we're going to take our 2 zeros, just put it at the back. 0, 0. So what is our answer? Our answer is 12,000. So the correct answer choice is D. Okay. Now, what if instead of 120 packs of paper, it was 300 packs of paper? Well, we do the exact same thing. 300 times 100, okay? And remember your trick. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 300, all right? We're gonna count how many zeros we have. We have 2. We're gonna send them to the back. And this works every time, I promise. And so that would be the answer. So instead of doing a really long multiplication problem, you can use this trick on any problem that you're multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, even 1,000,000. Just take the zeros and send them straight to the back. Hey everyone, if you're interested in a free 1-hour tutoring session with Checkmate Scholars, make sure to click the link in the description. That link will send you to a Google document where you can sign up for your student. Alright, let's get back to the video. Alright, let's take a look at question number 4. It says, which angles appear not to have a measure of 70 degrees? Select 2 correct answers. So we're looking for the angles that are not, remember, not 70 degrees. Okay, so we have 5 different protractors and we're trying to find out which ones do not, keyword not, have a measure of 70 degrees. So how do we measure the angles on a protractor? Well, we have 2 different rows of numbers. As you can see, we have the top row of numbers and we have the bottom row of numbers, okay? So we're choosing one, so choose only one row, okay? So in this case, I like to use the top row, the upper row, okay? So I will not be using the bottom row. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna look at where our protractor lines up. What numbers do they line up on? So for number 1, we end up right here in this area and in this area. So right here, we have 110. 110. And at the bottom, we have 0. Okay? And so all we have to do is subtract. 110 minus 0 is 110. So this protractor has a measure of 110. So it is not 70 degrees, which is what we're looking for. So this would be one of our answers because it does not have a measure of 70 degrees. Remember, always pay attention to the keyword not in some of these questions. Let's look at number 2. All right, remember, I'm using the top row. I'm using the top row, not the bottom row. Okay, so here we have our protractor. It lines up right here and right here. What numbers do you see it lined up as? Okay, well, the bottom is lined up as 180 and the top is lined up at 110. So all we're going to do is subtract. 180 minus 110 is 70 degrees. So this protractor has 70 degrees. Are we looking for protractors with 70 degrees? No. So this is wrong. Let's check out option number 3. Okay. Option number 3, okay, has 2 lines that line up at here, this area, and this area. Remember, I am only using the top numbers, not the bottom ones. So here, the top numbers read 70. And here, the top number reads, okay, we have 150, 60, 170. All right. So if we subtract these, what do we get? What's 170 minus 70? That's 100. So is option 3 correct? Yes, because remember, we're looking for protractors that do not have a measure of 70 degrees. So because this protractor has a measure of 100 degrees, it is correct. So we're going to put a check mark on number 3. Let's check out number 4. So it told us, the question already told us to select 2 correct choices, but we just want to be safe. We want to make sure that no other answer choice is correct. So let's check everything just to be safe. So let's check out options 4 and 5. Option 4 lines up right here, right here. Remember, I'm using the top numbers only. So here it lines up at 70. At the bottom, it lines up at 0. 70 minus 0 is 70. So option 4 is not what we're looking for, because remember, we are looking for angles that are not 70 degrees. All right, let's check out option 5. Option 5 lines up here and here. I'm using the top numbers. So we have 60 right here, 60. And right here we have 130. What's 130 minus 60? That's 70. So this is not what we're looking for. Okay? Because we're looking for protractors that do not have a measure of 70 degrees. So our 2 correct choices are choice 1 and choice 3, because they do not measure up to 70 degrees. Remember, when you're using a protractor, always make sure that you stick to one side. Okay, so if you're going to use so remember, we have 2 sides. We have the upper side and we have the lower side. You see how the 2 numbers are different? For instance, right here, what does the upper side say? The upper side is at 100, the lower side is at 80. Okay, so we have 2 different sides. Remember, when you're using a protractor, stick to one side. Okay, always use one side, don't use 2. Okay, so always stick to one side. So right here, let me erase those 2 lines. So right here, if I'm using the upper side here, it's going to be 60, as we just said, and 130. Okay, so always stick to the one side. If you want, you can use the upper side or the lower side, whichever one you prefer. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5 says, the expanded notation of a number is shown. So we have the expanded form here. What is the number in word form? Okay, let's try it out. So we have an expanded notation and we need to figure out what it is in word form. Well, first we need to put our expanded notation into standard notation. Okay, so let's bring everything down here. So let's start with our first set of parentheses. We have 1 times 1,000. Okay, so what's 1 times 1,000? Well, let me show you a quick trick in the expanded notation. Anywhere you see the 1, right there, right here, right here, right here, and right here, that's where you put your other number. Okay, so let's say this said 8 times 1,000. Our answer for standard notation would be 8,000. Okay, or right here where it says 4 times 10. All we're going to do is replace that 1 with our 4. All right, so that's how we're going to start moving. Okay, so we have 1,000. Okay, we have 8 times 100. So we're going to replace that 1 in the 100 with an 8. So we have 800. Okay. We have 4 times 10. That's 40. We have 2 times 0.1. Okay. That is 0.2. Oh, I'm running out of space. Let me move this to the side. To the side. Let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, perfect. then lastly, we have 9 times 0.01. So we're going to replace that 1 with a 9. So it's going to be 0.09. Okay, 0.09. All right, so now we're going to add all this together. What do we get? We have a 9 here, we have a 2 here, we have all zeros, 0, 0, 4, 4, we have a 0 plus an 8, which is an 8, we have a 1. All right, so our answer is 1,840.29. We're going to get to that 0.29. So let's look at our answers. So what we can do is we can start eliminating based off of whichever one is wrong. So we start off with 1,000. All of them have 1,000, so that checks out. What's our next number? Our next number is 800. Okay, 800, 800, 800. We have an 84 right here. We don't have an 84. We have an 840, but not an 804. Or sorry, not an 84. So D is incorrect. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So we have a 1,000, we have an 800, we have a 40. Okay, so let's check our answers. A is correct. It has 840. B says 804. Okay, so there's a difference. So 840, like in answer choice A, looks like this. But in answer choice B, it says 804. 804 looks like this. So we have 840, not 804, okay? So we can go ahead and eliminate answer choice B. Let's continue. So we have 1,840. Now we don't have anything in the ones place, so we don't have to worry. We have a decimal next. So whenever you see a decimal, that is the word and. Okay? That is the word and. Let me fix my handwriting. That is the word and. Okay? And. So we have 1,840 and. Okay? And. So answer choice A says 29 tenths. Answer choice C says 29 hundredths. Okay? Well, which one is correct? So anytime you end in tenths, anytime your written form or your word form ends in tenths, that means that the last number is in the tenths place. Okay? But our last number is in the hundredths place. So we're going to end with hundreds. So if our number was, let's say, 1,003 tenths. Okay? So it would look something like this. Anytime your written form or your word form ends in tenths, your last number is going to be in the tenths place. But anytime it ends in hundredths, that means there's still something there in the hundredths. So, in other words, looking at our number, we have 1,840 and 29 hundredths. We don't have 29 tenths because we end in the hundredths. So that's where we're going to end, 29 hundredths. Therefore, answer choice C is correct. All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you found it useful, I'd really appreciate if you could give this video a like. Also, maybe share it to a student that could maybe benefit from this type of content. Remember, in the future, we are going to other grade levels for STAAR test prep, so make sure to subscribe so you're updated when we do release those videos. Also, if you'd like one-on-one tutoring for your student, don't forget to check the link in the description. There you can access the sign-up link for Checkmate Scholars. Remember, for new Checkmate Scholars customers, you do get 1 hour of free tutoring, so don't let that opportunity pass you by. Sign up today. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, checkmate.